Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. We got a lot to talk about. We got breaking news today about college football, Division I college football with the Big Ten and Pac-12. Baseball talk, trade deadline is under a month away, a couple weeks away. And NBA, who just came out with the finalists for their awards. Here are our reactions to those and much more on this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. It's Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I'm joined by my good friend, James.
Hello.
Producer John's over there.
Yo.
And we got, I think, kind of a lot of sports to talk about today. We had some breaking news come in like a half hour ago, which we're going to get into first. We got some MLB talk and then a little bit of not really Celtics, but NBA talk. And then we got a lot of people's topics for the end of the show, which we're excited about. So let's get started with the breaking news. They just came out. College football came out. Big Ten and Pac-12 have decided to cancel their season, which is pretty big. It's, I mean,
not that surprising,
not
though, considering.
Surprising, but still big on how it affects, football. Not even just at the college level, but at the professional level as well. Because I don't know how they're going to do a draft next year.
I don't know.
Unless people you base it off of what they did the past year. But even then, like, freshmen now, you don't know what they got. I don't know.
It's going to be a really weird draft year.
It's going to be interesting. And I'm not really sure how. I mean, obviously it's pretty new, so we don't know, the detail. I mean, it's pretty obvious details. They're not playing. Yeah. But I don't know if they're trying to move their season. I don't know. Because I have had rumors. I mean, it's just high school football, but I have heard rumors that for sports, they're trying to switch the sports around to kind of make it work for the sports. So I heard a rumor that some high schools are trying to move baseball to the fall and move football to the spring, because baseball and tennis and stuff like that, which is low contact and pretty distant sports. If they're going to have a season, they kind of want to try to make that work. Yeah. I don't know how that would work. I don't know, if that's even true.
The problem is the logistics involved of getting everything organized and stuff like that and getting all the schools organized. It's possible.
Yeah.
Just seems like it's a lot of logistics work in terms of getting everything lined up.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's definitely doable.
I think it's much more doable to get a baseball and tennis and those type of sports, especially at high school level. But maybe not college level, but
they might, though.
Extend it. I don't know. It's different. D1 schools also are very much different. They have much more resources. They have indoor facilities. They have a lot more stuff that they can do.
I wonder if they're still going to do... Well, yeah. I wonder if they're still going to at least do workouts and keep the players in shape and stuff like that and get some sort of regimen going on. Maybe
virtually, but I don't think they can have... If they're not having a season where you can practice, they're not going to have... And a lot of these schools are actually going remote. They're not going to have anyone on campus. No. So they'll do, I think maybe all these... like I said, a lot of these kids that go to these big schools, they, have scholarships. They, have places that they can work out and stuff like that at home. So they'll probably have workout regimens that they can do during that season. So they're not out of shape, but just little things that they can do on their own. But that's huge. I'm not surprised, but I'm a little wow, it's actually happening.
In the coming months, we'll see what compromises can be made, and who knows.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, the reason they're trying to, the reason I heard about high school sports, the reason they're trying to switch the seasons is because a lot of these kids play multiple sports. Some kid play football, plays basketball, baseball, and they play at the same time. They don't want to make the kids choose. In college, I guess you could just put spring and fall sports in the spring.
Because very often you're doing one sport.
Yeah, if you're playing that high of a level, you're probably not playing this baseball as well, or
rare.
I don't know anyone right now that's doing that.
Are you even allowed to do that? I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, you are?
You are allowed to do that.
Yeah, as long as you can handle the classes and the course load and both.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
It's a lot.
Rip social life.
Especially at the Division I level where you have to do, it's like even more of a commitment. We've talked about it with some of the guests that we've had on. It's like being a college athlete is a huge commitment.
Oh, yeah.
But being a Division I athlete is an even bigger commitment.
It's
I think
a
we talked about it with
our
friend Dennis. Like I think we talked about it with him when he went to BC. Like it was such it's not just during the season. It's a lot of off-season work, which I think they work with the athletes that do both. Like Kyler Murray, he was a baseball kid too.
Who's that?
Yeah.
The quarterback for he won the Rookie of the Year last year. Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
He was drafted by the A's, and he could choose. Imagine that you can choose. The first overall pick in football, and then he was like a high draft pick in baseball.
Yeah,
I don't know what pick he was actually. I lied. I don't know what pick he was, but he was drafted by the Athletics.
And he chose
football. Yeah,
I think I would
have
have chosen.
Well, the thing is, he's higher up in football, so he'll probably make more money. But then there's a lot of money in baseball.
He was pretty good in baseball, and I think
baseball seems less dangerous to me.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. Like
what position was he in baseball? Do you know?
Maybe a pitcher, maybe middle infielder. I forget.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. But
that's something we can look up later.
But yeah. So a lot that actually happens. Like I've known like Tom Brady was a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
He was drafted he was drafted in the MLB draft really low.
Really?
But like he was drafted by I think the Expos way back in like the 90s. He was picked to do like.
I didn't know that.
So, and obviously, when you get to that level, there's even lower amount of people that play both sports. A lot of there's been a few that played both football, like NFL, and like played baseball or something else.
But generally, in Division I, you're going to have to choose
college. Yeah, a lot of times there is, but like I said, there is those couple that choose both.
Yeah.
But I mean, in this circumstance, maybe you just say you make that decision a little earlier. If it means getting in a season, everyone playing. Because last year, don't forget, the baseball kids, and not just baseball, I use baseball because it's like kind of like we talk mainly about baseball, but for draft purposes. But those spring sports kids lost their spring season. They didn't play.
Yep.
So we're talking men's tennis, we're talking men's and women's track and field, we're talking baseball, softball.
Yep.
I know I'm forgetting some. I went to Division III, so that's all the sports I know. It was in the spring, but I'm sure there's a lot in Division I. But all those people lost their spring sports down through high school. So I'm sure, I'm sure the focus is probably going to be to get in the baseball and get those guys and gals their chance to play their spring season. But at the same time, football makes the money for schools.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to want to get in. And especially I know it probably won't happen, but let's say we turn a big page on this coronavirus and there even a chance to have fans in the stands, which I don't think is going to happen. But let's say in a perfect world in the spring, you may have a chance to have a capacity fan, a number, lower, kind of what we thought was going to be for the football season in the fall. Maybe you could have a 10% capacity or 20, whatever it is. You get my point. They're going to want to have that football season because they're going to make money and make some money off of losing a lot of money this year.
Yeah.
And two, these football kids are going to have that at least, even if it's a shortened season, to go into the draft.
You need something to show your skills.
Right. So I don't know. I really don't know. This is big news. We have huge schools coming in.
And the thing is, too, something to consider is everything's been changing in the last 4 or 5 months. Something could be said today that all of a sudden gets reversed in a couple of weeks or vice versa.
Correct.
So we don't really know until literally a week before. We can only see a week out or so. So you never know what's going to happen. But
correct.
I'm not surprised if most of the sports get canceled, be pushed into the spring. It seems like it's inevitability at this point.
Well, that's just my thought. I haven't heard anything about that moving.
Or they might just cancel it for this year and just pick up next year.
Yeah.
Which I wonder how. That does bring up the question: how does that work for a lot of what do you do? A lot of that stuff.
I have no idea. Ohio State is one of the biggest.
Oh yeah.
football schools in the country, and they have every year have a ton of guys coming out of the draft, and they're canceled. So like, what are we gonna like?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, hopefully something gets sorted out soon.
Yeah.
You know?
And like I said, this came out like, half hour ago. We're recording this on Monday the 10th. And so it's probably going to be more news that comes out. But for now, that's big news. And I mean, it's kind of showing that it's going to continue into this. We're not, I think it's like shows the severity, and we're not over with this, and we need to just keep plugging along.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
Exactly. What's the next topic there, big guy?
So we're going to get into a little baseball Red Sox topic for now. John actually inspired this
What
topic.
I do.
You asked an opinion on a player of the Red Sox. And with the trade deadline coming up, it's in a couple weeks. August 31st, I think, is what we looked it up.
Yes.
The Red Sox could make some moves, whether to better their team now or set them up for the future. And the name that John asked about was
Andrew Benintendi's getting it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Every day if you search Andrew Benintendi's name on Twitter, you just see it getting roasted.
He had a good start. I'll say this. He had a good start last year. At All-Star break, he had a terrible end of the year. And this year, he has been terrible. Throughout his career, I've seen nothing but inconsistencies out of him as a player. And I personally would rather JBJ. And JBJ's on a slide right now. I think a lot of the Red Sox players are on a slide right now, hitters, offensively wise.
Yeah.
So even JD, like, he's on a bad. I saw a tweet that came out like with everyone's like, it was like going down the lineup, and JD was like 2 for like 20 something or 3 for something.
Yeah.
Benintendi is legit like 3 for 35 or something like that. Something like that. I could be wrong on the numbers, but it is pretty brutal. It is like, so
that's hard to get worse than that.
In my opinion, I think the Red Sox need to start looking on.
Should have been doing what they were supposed to do in the offseason, but that's beside the point.
But I mean, he's a young guy. They just got rid of They just got rid of Mookie. So I get it, not really wanting to trade or get rid of one of your next youngest player. But I mean, come on.
Well, when they got rid of Mookie, they got a lot of money sitting around now. Don't they?
Not really.
Why not really? Or were they already over?
Yeah.
So they
so I can be like legit with people and they know his actual. As of today, on Monday, he is 2 for 36.
Oh, gee.
With 10 walks. He has an batting average of .056, and he's getting on base .261. So, I guess. Oh wait. Yeah. So I guess he's getting on base a decent amount because he's got the 10 walks, but 2 for 36. That's awful. Like, that's pretty bad. That's about
as bad as you can be and still be considered professional.
That's bad. And I mean, that's the problem right now with the Red Sox, because we knew their pitching was bad, but right now offensively, if you look at their star players that are supposed to be their bats, Rafael Devers is batting a 175.
Yep.
JD is batting 196.
Okay.
Who else?
How many guys are at least over 200?
Well, I mean, there's a good amount of guys over 200, and you have I would say because I was thinking of our segment. We're not doing it, but up to the hype, and like stuff like that, and more of who's meeting their expectations. I think Mitch Moreland's over that. He had a big walk-off game yesterday. He had 2 home runs in that game.
Oh, wow.
He's batting .323, which is pretty good for Mitch Moreland, considering that I think, pretty much convinced him to come back and gave him like a help-us-out contract.
Yeah.
Xander's he's batting .319. That's awesome for him. I personally, they talk about JD, talk about Raffy. I think he is the most important player on that team. I think he's just, finding a shortstop that hits 319, he has 3 bombs and 9 RBIs. I think that's pretty impressive. Like, there's very few of him in the game. Yeah. You can find a power bat, but a power bat and like an offensive shortstop who's also defensively really good. Yeah. I think it's very hard to come by. That's why I was excited they gave him a contract extension. And I hope, when we're talking about the trade deadline, they do not touch Xander Bogaerts. I will be more upset about getting rid of Xander Bogaerts than Mookie Betts, and I will say that right now.
No, what?
I will be more upset.
Really? 'Cause you were pretty upset.
I was very upset about getting rid of Mookie, but getting rid of Xander Bogaerts, the position-wise, is just harder. It's a harder shoe to fill than filling Mookie Betts. And as crazy as that is, because Mookie's I'd say the second best player in the league, I think I can make up for that more with adding a guy like another offensive outfielder.
There was a cool quote, related but unrelated. I think it was Verdugo. That's who I was just about to talk about. He said, the other day, or 1 or 2 days ago, someone asked him how do you feel about replacing Mookie Betts? And he said I'm not replacing him. I'm just doing my job. Or he said a better quote than
he said it perfectly, and that's exactly my point. We talked about Mookie's problem, and I still think so. He's probably the greatest homegrown Red Sox we've seen, arguably in franchise history.
Since the Babe.
Well, I'd say like if you want to go old school, like Ted Williams, like those guys, like Fisk, those guys that are Yaz, like those homegrown guys. He's probably one of the best. I'm not going to say if he is the best. He maybe is.
He's probably the one of this generation, though.
He is the generational Red Sox I've seen, homegrown, and probably in the franchise to play, one of the best players. I'm not taking that away from him. I think he's one of the best defensively, offensively, everything. Yeah. But how many times have we heard Verdugo? What a play by Verdugo and right. Verdugo's got to be your everyday outfielder. The first game, he robbed, I think, a home run. Like, he robs home runs every other game. He makes great plays. And Kevin Pillar, who was like an added-on guy, he's batting .310 in his first play of the game of the season. He made a play to rob a home run.
What's Verdugo's contract?
I think we got him for a couple of years. He was a young. He's the guy in the Mookie trade. He's like one of the main players in the Mookie trade. So I think we got him for a couple of years. But that's what I'm saying. Going into that trade, I didn't need Verdugo to hit 330 with 50 jack. You don't need that from him. But if he can make some good plays and hit high 200, 290. Maybe 300. That's over. And he's batting .262. He's not playing every day. You know what I mean? I think I'm impressed. He should be playing every day, but I'm impressed, and I think we haven't noticed it on the offensive side of the baseball that much with Mookie leaving. I don't think that's the reason we're hurting right now. And that's what I said about someone was saying they should have never got rid of Mookie. That's the reason we're losing. I don't think that's the reason we're losing. If Mookie was here, I think we'd still be the same record. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would change.
Mookie doesn't help the pitching.
Yeah, exactly. We have a bunch of, that's the problem. We have a bunch of no-name guys in the bullpen and in starting. So I don't think he would have made a difference. With that said, if you take Xander Bogaerts out of this team, out of the lineup and out of off the team, I think it severely impacts your team. I fully believe it because you have both an offensive star and a defensive star in the same player at a position that's at a premium. Shortstop, premium shortstops are hard to come by. And it was a problem that we had from 2003-04 when we got rid of Nomar to when we got Xander Bogaerts. We didn't have a consistent shortstop till we drafted Xander, and he's been in that position. So he's one of my favorite he is probably my favorite player on that team. Verdugo, we just talked about. Pillar is exceeding the I thought he was going to be a rotation guy, and he's batting .310. Nothing wrong. Vasquez keeping up. Chavis is good.
Talk to me about walk-off Mitchie.
I did.
Yeah.
Who'd you say?
That was the first name I talked about.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, no kidding. I hyped up Mitchie.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Xander. He's batting .323 with 6 home runs and 12 RBIs. He had 2 home runs yesterday. I think he's...
All right, stop yelling at me.
Listen to the show. You're here. How can we expect people to listen if you won't even listen and you're here? Michael Chavis is doing well. Like, a lot of guys are doing well, but our star bats that are supposed to be our guys, Raffy, JD's batting $196. Like, that's not good. I don't think he has a jack yet.
You're kidding.
He has 3. Am I looking at the right place? Yeah, he has 3 RBIs and no jacks. Like, that's in which I'm not nervous about him, but he's got to kind of find it.
He has to perform.
Which I'm kind of happy about because he has an opt-out this year. So a lot of people were like, do we trade? That's what we're trying to lead into it.
Yeah.
But the trade deadline coming up, do we trade any of our guys? Because it's not happening this year.
The trade deadline's August 31st, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So do we trade any of these guys to try to get some pitching and guys for next year? And one of the guys that someone mentioned, one of my buddies, was JD Martinez. And he has an opt-out this year. He could receive big money. It's going elsewhere. But if he's batting $196, he may opt in. Like, I'm not saying I want to get rid of JD. I'm saying, do we trade him because he leaves? I don't think he opts out if he's batting 200 with like a couple home runs and a decent amount of RBIs. I think he opts in. And that was my point. I don't want to trade JD. Now I definitely wouldn't because you can't get any value for him right now because teams are going to pay for the player that they have. And same thing with Andrew Benintendi, what started this whole conversation. I am a big trade. If you have someone batting .056, that's bad. That's really bad.
That's atrocious.
He has 2 more. Oh, is it 2? Yeah, he's 2 for 36. He has 2 more hits than I do. He has 2 more hits than I have for the Red Sox. Like that's pretty awful. That's pretty bad. And he's batted it's not like he's been up like a handful of times. He had 36 at bats. That's
send him to the rocks.
Like that's pretty bad, but you can't get any trade value for him. So like right now, like we were talking about before, I think you just got to sit on him and hope for something, like he goes through a hot streak, or hopefully he figures it out and then you have him for, like, he's young, because he is young.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, unless you want to blow it up, I don't see a lot of movement to trade people away, especially offensively.
Because any people that have value you desperately need on that team.
Yeah, it's like...
You don't have anybody that's extra.
And, like, the value is younger. And I don't want to... I don't want to get rid of many younger guys.
No.
I don't want to get rid of... why is it... Oh, pitching. There we go. Now, pitching-wise, there is some guys that maybe you can trade to get some, like, a couple young arms or something, or you can package someone. As much as I love him, Pilar, he's the older guy, and he's really hot right now, and he's not going to help you. Maybe a team that's in a playoff push could use that right fielder that is getting on base and has a little power. Maybe you can package a guy like Workman, who is pitching exceedingly well. And I hate to get rid of him, but if you can get him in like a Pilar, or him in like him and someone else to get a good package, to get a young starter in here, maybe that's what you do. But I've said it, like the Red Sox are in a position, or Ryan Weber, who's like not good, but I think he's a decent bullpen arm. I think he would be a guy that you could probably get rid of in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And he, like, if he went to somewhere, he wouldn't be a starter, he'd be a bullpen arm. I think that would be pretty good for him. He doesn't have a good ERA, but you can get like a good... It's hard because none of our pitchers are performing. Nathan Eovaldi you could pitch, but then now where are you right now? It's going to be an even longer season without him.
The thing is, they got to make some moves and pick some priorities.
Keith Hembry is another guy that I would maybe consider trading away, not because he's not good, because he's really good this year, but he's not helping us win in the future. So he's a guy that I'd maybe package to get a starter. There's like different guys that they got to look at, take serious looks at, and try to, figure out how to get someone in here for next year, or because this year, unless something crazy happens, I don't foresee anyone getting we going on a run and winning a championship this year, it stinks. Next year, I have a feeling you're going to see a big cleaning house kind of thing. You're going to hold on to, I like, in my opinion, anyone on the bullpen, I wouldn't care if they left. I love Workman. I love Barnes. Even Barnes has had a tough start, so you're not going to get rid of him.
Choose 3 to keep.
I'd say Xander.
Well, yeah.
It's all hitting guys, I would say. I'd say Xander.
Yep.
Devers.
Okay.
Come on.
And
come on.
I'd have to say, just because if he doesn't opt out, JD, because of how special he is, but Vasquez is pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Because Vasquez is proven to be a power bat and a catcher, and he's young. Like, it's hard to find a good catcher and shortstop are two of the hardest positions to fill. There's always arms for pitching. You can always find someone to pitch, and like obviously the Red Sox couldn't. But if they spent the money and tried to go after some of these guys, there's always someone to find that could pitch.
Oh yeah.
There's always someone that you can find to like play first that can hit. Second base is kind of hard, and outfielders you can find defensive guys. It's hard to find a combo, but shortstop, catcher are two of the hardest positions, I think, to fill, in my opinion, from playing and watching baseball.
I'd agree.
But JD, just because he's done it so long, even though he's had a tough year, and he could opt out. If he opts out, I would definitely go Vasquez. But those 3 guys, I think, are the cornerstones right now of your team.
Letting Verdugo go, huh?
He's in his contract. I didn't say Verdugo, but when you trade away Mookie Betts, you can't trade away the guys that you just got from. I can't foresee in any situation them trading, unless they're trading for Mookie Betts, I can't foresee them trading away Verdugo at this time. I really can't, unless it's like one of those star athletes that is like, all right, yeah, we'll give you anyone pretty much besides the couple people that we have. But I think it would be like, oh yeah, we traded for this guy for like 40 games. Thanks. Appreciate it. So I don't foresee them getting rid of him. But yeah, I like Verdugo, but I think Xander, JD, and Devers, just based on age and ability to play, is just, I think they're the most important people on that team. And I'm not just stopping at players. They need to find a manager that is experienced and has some feel for the game, because this guy stinks. Like, this guy is awful. There should be, minus you're trying to figure out your outfield with, like, I get that, like Verdugo, trying to find Pilar, JBJ, and Benintendi. I mean, I'd say JBJ should be, like, coming into the season. I guess Benintendi, because you didn't know what you had, should be everyday guys and you're trying to figure out right field. Yeah. But so if you're trying to figure out Alex Verdugo is playing one day, Pilar is playing one day off the night, like, I get that. But there is no reason that Xander Bogaerts should have not been playing game 2 and he should have played probably 10 games in a row before he had an off day. Like that, and I'm not exaggerating. That's pretty brutal that he's so willy-nilly with off days. Maybe that's on purpose, and I think that's what it is. I think it's John Henry and Bloom and the ownership and GM calling the shots and saying, hey, you got to give this guy an off day. You got to protect these guys for next year. So maybe that's it. But this guy's just a whipping post and taking all the blows so they can say, all right, which stinks because he's going to do what they say and then they're going to say, sorry, you're fired. So, which I don't think he'd take it again anyway, but they need to find a manager, Alex Cora, bring him back, or find someone that's, is young, has some feel. It's like, I think the best coach to come in, manager to come in, is a younger guy that just retired within the last couple years, kind of like an Alex Cora, who has some connect to these guys and really get the guys to buy in. Because I think one thing that's true is they're not into the season. No one's mentally in the season.
No.
But the Red Sox are in trouble. I really don't think, like, people are saying, like, someone was saying, like, they're going to be terrible the next 5 years. I don't think so.
Not the next 5. This does not dictate their entire future.
I really don't think so. I think you add, I'd even give you, if you say Chris Sale is healthy and Eduardo Rodriguez is healthy, I think they're around 500 team. I think they're in second place in the division. I 100% believe that, because how many games has pitching blown the game? A lot. Yeah. So if you add 2 more capable starters in rotation, and you move some of those guys that are not great for more than a couple innings out and move them into a bullpen role, I think and you take the awful guys down to AAA, I think they're okay. They're not going to win a championship, but they're not going to be this depressing mess to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're in bad shape. I think they definitely need work, and they need to retool the pitching rotation in the bullpen. But I think next year I wouldn't be surprised if they're a playoff team.
We'll just see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
And what they do at the trade deadline. It will be interesting. Getting closer, we'll probably hear more rumors.
Yeah, the few days leading up to it, those 3 or 4 days before.
And it's so weird. Like, we're, less than a month in or around a month into the season, and we're already at the trade deadline? That's nuts. That's pretty wild. Like, that feels weird. So we'll wait to see how that turns out, because I feel like a lot of guys are still trying to find it.
I think there might be a lot of movement, though.
There could be.
Within the MLB. There really might.
I don't know. It's going to be a lot of like JD, who's a possible rental guy for like a playoff push. You need there's going to be some of those guys, like the guys that are going in the last year of their deal. They'll probably trade those guys away. Before we move off the MLB, do we want to talk about that the Astros Athletics fight?
Yes.
I need to look up because these guys a lot of the guys are like, I'm not really familiar with. Definitely the Astros hitting coach. I don't know his name. And
bum.
He's a bum. He is a bum. Like, that guy is.
Well, this just goes to show more tension between the Astros and everybody. It goes to show,
Yeah. So basically, this guy Ramon, and I'm gonna be like John here and mess up the name, Loreno.
Yes.
Something like that.
Loreno.
He got hit 3 times in 2 days, 2 times in 1 game. And the last one was which John's favorite part of it, he threw a slider and hit him in the back. I don't think that was intentional. A couple of them probably were, but I don't think that one was intentional. I don't think it broke. And he's trying to give like pitching advice on the way to first base.
Yeah, as the ump is like shuffling the first, he's like, no, it didn't break. You gotta do. He's like giving him. You gotta snap it.
You're just coming in straight.
He was like genuinely like no, it's okay.
He was
this
probably
is what
being
you
sarcastic.
Wrong. I think so.
He's probably being
like,
sarcastic, but you can.
I don't know. He seemed pretty genuine.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah.
He means it both ways. He's like, I want to help you, dude.
Exactly.
But also, what the hell are you doing?
It's like the Pat McAfee at the end when that guy walked up. He's like, was I being disrespectful? No.
We can mention it after.
Yeah,
it's like,
we'll definitely talk about that later.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't being disrespectful after I just called him out.
Complimentative even.
So I think it definitely was being like, he's trying to be sarcastic. But when he gets to first base, this no-name hitting coach starts chirping him and takes a step at the top and goes, "Come here."
Yeah.
Come here. And he's like, what are you talking about? Who are you? Get out of here. And literally, like, tells him basically to come fight him. He says, all right, here we go.
The dude squares up.
And he like pulls the shit, like, who is it? Was it John Boy or something like that? Is the guy that like does the announcing for all these like fights and like different funny things. Like, he breaks down the film. And as soon as he like hikes up his pants, he like gets him. Like, he was ready to fight.
Yeah.
He baited him. And then when Ramon runs over, is it Ramon? Yeah. Ramon runs over. Like 4 Astros guys step in the way and block him off, which is the most. Shout out Rob Marcello, and Jack Moran. A coward move. He is an absolute coward.
You know what that also tells me? It tells me the players have no confidence in that guy swinging and defending himself.
Like
they're like, wow, this guy's getting into a fight. This guy can't fight. I'll do it.
Yeah, it's like one of the guys takes him down, wraps him up. One of the most give the Astros some credit. One of the most impressive wrap ups I've ever seen.
It was a solid judo takedown.
Wrapped him up and brought him down. The only compliment I'll give the Astros probably all year. That was pretty impressive. I've never seen anyone do that in a baseball fight. And basically they start going at it.
Bench is cleared.
And the whole time the hitting coach is on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Which is the most like
hands out, like, yeah,
he was like 4 to 6 feet away from where all the fighting was. He was just watching it.
He was just watching.
And he was the one chirping it, starting.
He's the one that started it.
He called it right.
If I'm the MLB, and you just gave Joe Kelly an 8-game suspension, really suspending the hitting coach isn't going to do anything to their team.
Right.
Really isn't going to do anything. I would hammer him. I would give him equal to, if not more, an 8-game suspension.
Well, now that Joe Kelly has been the precedent, guess what?
He incited a brawl.
Yeah. I don't remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Joe Kelly video, I don't remember Joe Kelly being like, fight me.
He didn't say fight me.
He taunted him.
Taunted him.
1,000% taunted him.
And there wasn't a melee. It was just like the typical 2019 baseball fight where they come out and just like, hey guys, let's
Right. Yeah. But like the hitting coach, like literally
said, come here,
squared up, was like, let's fight.
Yeah.
So this goes back to what I discussed last time, which is what part of the Joe Kelly part constituted part of the ban. So for instance, when I talked about was the 4 games because of hitting him and 4 games because of taunting, how does this work? So when this comes to this, does that coach automatically get 4 games because of taunting and then adding on to whatever it is for inciting a brawl?
Now, and that's also the other part of the coin that I was talking about with you. This guy's a no-name. So the commissioner is going to feel more apt, and he's probably going to see it as a chance to get some standing back in the league to hammer the Astros again with this no-name hitting coach that's going to do nothing.
Now, also, isn't the pitcher going to be punished for it because he technically did hit several times?
He didn't incite it though.
No, I'm talking about just hitting him. Because part of Joe Kelly's thing was he hit the guy intentionally.
Because that last ball that hit him, none of it was intentional. None of it not that we know of. Like, it wasn't an obvious intentional hit. Like that, and especially the last one, which I defended Joe Kelly. I'm going to defend this guy right now. I'm fair. It was a slider that didn't break. And if he listens to the advice of the guy that Ramon snapped his wrist and throw a slide, he was throwing it to.
You got to snap it. You got to snap it.
I don't think he's going to get suspended. Ramon may get a suspension because he charged him, but
he did as well.
He did charge the side, so he'll probably get a couple games. But it's going to be interesting because Joe Kelly got 8 games and he didn't even hit anyone or throw punches. So what are you going to give guys that started a full-out brawl? Not saying Ramon started because he was like, who are you, dude? But and I don't blame him at all. But what are you going to give these guys? It's going to be interesting the suspension that they get. They're both going to get suspensions.
No, that coach though, that kind of attitude,
you should get hammered.
Yeah,
you should get hammered. Especially if you're a coach, you're supposed to be the example. You're supposed to in those situations. You're supposed.
If it's
to
like a thing where like Joe Kelly, where you're like in each other's faces, and then like some shoving happens, that's a little different than being 10 feet away from someone and being like, come here, let's fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know what I mean?
You're inviting that. Yeah. You're saying, hey.
You're making a conscious decision to be like, I'm going to start a brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't defend him, I wouldn't I guess I wouldn't understand it, but I'd be less annoyed at this, I guess, if it was a player. If it was a player on the Astros team, I would at least be like, all right, they're getting hammered. Like if it was Bregman or someone like that, or Correa, like in the Joe Kelly situation, they're the ones that are getting hit. And like, I can understand, like, even though they cheated, I get it. But I can understand if I'm getting hit every other night, I'm probably going to get a little irritated at the whole situation.
Especially if you're one of the players on the Astros that wasn't participating. That's my thing. I understand if these guys are getting pissed off. They're like, I'm getting yelled at for something I never did.
Right. Or like you just got here, or you're like within the last couple of years. It wasn't even on the team. Like, I understand that. Yeah. But it was a coach. Like, you're supposed to be the example.
The coach instigated it. And the guy, mind you, the guy coming off bat, the guy that was batting, he wasn't being a dick at all.
Originally, he was like, get out of here, dude. Like, who are you? And then after that, he was like, come here. Yeah. Like, that's
unrelated to the athletic situation. I just want to mention these annoying kids on TikTok. In our comment, we have some Astros defenders in our TikTok comment section.
You want to read a couple? Not read that. We won't give them shout outs on the names.
Not names.
I'll read their name. I'll give them their address.
Easy there, buddy.
What's the argument being made?
So to give some background, I post everything on TikTok. Everything that goes on Instagram goes on TikTok.
What? Yeah. Go follow us.
Big Red Zone. Oh, we didn't do any. I'll do it.
We'll do it.
Tell a friend.
I always forget.
We're so jacked up to start it.
While we're here, we'll take this as an ad break. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Big Red Zone. We just hit 50 subscribers. Twitter at Big Red Zone, Instagram at Big Red Zone. We hit 800 followers. Someone just unfollowed us.
We know who you are, by the way, and we're angry.
And we have your address too.
But road to 1,000 for Instagram.
Road to 800 again.
Road to 800, yeah.
Well, that's an easy one.
But. So on TikTok.
Guys, I meant to tell you, I accidentally unfollowed our account. I'm sorry.
Understandable.
So basically, I won't read everything. There's a lot of comments kind of got into it, but basically,
they're basically the same.
It's the Instagram clip of us saying, defending Joe Kelly and giving reasons like why he did it. Oh, I understand. This, that, and the other. People are arguing that Joe Kelly's a hypocrite because he was part of the quote unquote cheating Red Sox team, and it's hypocritical for the cheater Joe Kelly, as they're saying, to bring justice to the cheating Astros. So they're just saying, like, it's stupid, he shouldn't have done it because it's hypocritical.
So if you ever do anything wrong ever at any time, you're therefore not allowed to have an opinion or do anything ever on it? That's not a very cohesive argument, because then honestly half the people in baseball can't ever say anything about cheating. Also, not for nothing, so many baseball players have cheated in some fashion or another.
What the Astros did was take what the Red Sox supposedly did, which I'll remind you, it took 6 months, and it was because the commissioner couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
They kept saying, we haven't found anything yet, but we're going to keep looking. Like, they couldn't find concrete ways that the Red Sox cheated, so they gave a smack on the wrist. They didn't suspend the manager, because they already suspended the manager, because he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They didn't suspend the GM. Uh-huh. They didn't suspend anyone. They gave a light fine. The Red Sox, because you're not a Boston fan, and I get it, you don't like the Red Sox, and you probably don't like us because we defend the Red Sox and we win all the time. I get it. We win. I get it. I know that's annoying for you guys. But the Red Sox didn't do anything. If they did, it was on probably a less of a percentile of a degree than what the Astros
and even
did.
The argument they're trying to make, like, I don't even know why the Red Sox are brought up. Like, I don't get
we're
the
not
argument.
Talking about the
argument
Red Sox.
is literally the Astros cheated, Joe Kelly tried to get justice, but wait a minute, the Red Sox cheated. What does that mean? What are you talking about?
That has nothing to do with the argument that we're making. No. So,
which I get, they're definitely just like 13-year-olds on TikTok too. It's like, for instance, like, let me just spit off some of the comments. One was, the Astros got more of a consequence than the Red Sox. What they did was wrong, but the Sox didn't get a punishment either.
Well, no, they actually did get a punishment, and there wasn't really any concrete proof.
They did get a punishment. There wasn't concrete proof. And the Astros, what the Red Sox were found for was way worse than what the Red Sox did.
So do you answer this, though? Do you think Joe Kelly's a hypocrite?
No. I don't.
No. I'm just a messenger here.
Comments.
I'm just a messenger.
Get out. No, they didn't.
This guy's a Red Sox fan. He's biased. You can tell. Yeah, you bet we're biased.
Yeah, I'm biased for the Dodgers. That's right. I'm biased for a Dodgers player. It's ridiculous.
But also, people have to understand in any sort of sport, using the idea that if anybody cheated, so they can't do anything or have a comment about it, bro. Newsflash: in every single sport, most players are going to cheat in some stupid little way. Because guess what? It's a competitive sport.
What's this guy?
That's how this works.
That said he's a Red Sox fan?
It doesn't matter. We're not saying the name.
Well, whoever your name is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
We're not going to
if you're probably either an Astros fan if you're defending them, a Yankees fan because you hate the Red Sox, or some other no-name team that just can't win. If you're a no-name team that can't win, then that's why you're mad because we beat you every year.
Pop off.
If you're a Yankees fan, why don't you take a look in the mirror because we just saw Garrett Cole put pine tar on his hat and nothing has happened of it. It was obvious something was on his brim of his cap and they zoomed in on it and they just caught him at the right time when he hit it. Yeah. So he was cheating actively first year. And guess what? You guys did the same thing the Red Sox did. So I don't want to hear it from you. And if you're an Astros fan, I definitely don't want to hear it from you because you cheated. You openly like you
there is concrete proof.
Degree. You took it to another degree. Like it was absolutely unreal what you guys did, and you cheated and you won a World Series for it. If you're an Astros fan, actually look back at the tapes and listen to our podcast at Big Red Zone on Instagram or Twitter or Spotify. I actually said
what?
That I said in
Twitter and Spotify.
Instagram, Twitter, and Spotify. I'm just going through all our Apple Podcasts or YouTube. Right. I don't know if this one was on YouTube. I said that the Astros should not lose their World Series, and I stand by that because I don't think that it's right just to we don't know if they were cheating. I don't know personally. Maybe it's out there. If I'm wrong, then call me out on it. I don't think they cheated in the World Series or in the playoffs. I don't think they did. I think it's too tight, and MLB Network's too in there. So if I'm wrong, tell me. But in the comments on our YouTube channel, hit the like button and subscribe. We got to up it because we didn't do it in the beginning. I defended your sorry Astros team for their World Series win, so I don't want to hear that I'm a biased fan. Also, if I was a fan of the Florida Marlins, which, by the way, they may win the World Series. They have one of the best records in baseball. Go figure that one out. They could win the World Series and possibly shut down the league week 2. Go figure that one. But if I was a fan of them, I would still say Joe Kelly was absolutely not in the wrong. I don't care that it's not even that I'm a Red Sox fan or not. It's that the Astros cheated and almost were to a different degree.
Let me read this last comment and maybe we can move on.
I need to get water.
Mine popped off.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's definitely a troll account. They don't have a picture. It's definitely a troll account. But this comment doesn't. It's crazy. I forget what my reply was, but he said basically Joe Kelly was a Red Sox and his team cheated and he wants to serve justice. That's like a murderer saying another murderer should die. What?
Stay away from drugs, kids. That's my response.
I'm not even going to
stay away from drugs.
Now, just stay away.
You are. I
love the troll. That's a solid troll, though.
Such a troll. But
it's such a troll. But PSA: stay away from drugs. Don't be that person.
Read or listened to that comment is now dumber because of it.
Thank you for that.
I award you no points, and I God have mercy on your soul.
So anyway, follow us on TikTok. Yeah, we're super nice. we love our TikTok.
We love our TikTok fans.
Oh my god!
I feel like every other week we're like, screw you, TikTok kids.
Well, it's
how many followers? We have a lot of followers on TikTok.
We have a weird amount of. It's like
unfortunately, that's going to be.
Yeah, TikTok's about to go bye bye.
Microsoft, let's root for them.
I'd actually like them to buy it, but that's a whole different discussion.
That's where we get a lot of our listeners and fans. So that's
yeah, it's true.
But when you can, go comment on our TikToks. It will be really nice.
Comment something nice.
We got some viral ones.
I don't like any negative comments.
We will flame you.
But yeah, thanks for commenting. I appreciate you.
You definitely shouldn't advise everyone
definitely comment whatever you want.
Oh God!
We just may call you.
We'll call you out on it if you're on some.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was about to bring that up because it was I was reading through them the other day, and it was just I think I read the murderer one, and I was like, funny. This is absolutely atrocious. Like this, and it definitely was
It's
definitely a
troll,
but absolutely terrible.
It's still funny.
Real quick, what else are we talking about? I have a real quick. Okay, all right, real quick. I was looking it up. I guess like the PGA tournament is going on or something like that. Yeah. You know what the PGA payout is?
What?
Like $11 million. Not for the winner. It's like split between like whoever. Like the top guy pulled like I don't know, like 1.9 or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's like a pool of like that.
Tyler got 50,000.
I just got the right not to shave my face. That was all I got in our little tour.
Oh yeah, you're trimmed. This is the first time you're trimmed up.
Trimmed up.
Look at you.
It was time.
Nice.
It was time. I wanted to do it back when we did it, the golf thing, but I was like, I can't just shave now. I can't trim now.
Right. It would have been like
one, so I had to wait the full time. James is fully grown back.
Yeah, we're back in business.
Yeah. Back to normal. So that about wraps up the baseball and beard talks.
MPGA talk.
MPGA talk. Quick swig it in there. So NBA, and I feel bad. I think there's a people's topic. You said there may be a hockey's people topic. We will talk some hockey at some point. I know the playoffs are coming up, and I actually don't like, and I think maybe I'll wait till, because I want to see what the hockey thing, I'll bring it back up later. Because I don't want to spoil if it is the people's topic. But NBA, they announced their NBA awards finalists, 3 per award.
Yep.
We're gonna go through them real quick. We're gonna say like if anyone got snubbed, and who we think is gonna be the winner. So James has them. I'll let him take it away.
NBA Most Valuable Player finalists. You got Giannis, LeBron James, James Harden. Go.
I think that is right.
I'm expecting more than 3.
No, they cut it down to 3. They cut it down to 3. Yeah,
because don't they do like a big voting thing or something like that?
They
and try and figure
voting, and then they take the top 3, and then that's who they pick from.
That
seems about right. I'm not really too. Who
do you think it'll be?
I'm going to stick with what I've said. LeBron James. I think he's going to be.
That's going to be
the guy.
That's a smart pick.
I think he deserves it.
The Lakers go all the way this year.
I think it's the Clippers. I want to see a Clippers-Celtics finals. But Lakers could do it. I'm not saying the Lakers have no shot because I think they have one of the most talented rosters. I think the Clippers just have an outstanding roster. But when the brackets kind of get figured out more, we'll do like a bracket show of who we think's going to win each matchup. But I think LeBron. I think I'd give it to LeBron.
I'd agree. NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, yeah, John.
I'll go Braun.
Okay.
LeBron?
No, James Harden.
James Harden?
James Harden? All right.
I guess so.
What
team is he on this year?
The
same team he's been on.
Oh, he's still on the Rockets?
Yeah.
That's good. Houston. Cool.
All right. NBA Defensive Player of the Year. You got Giannis, Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert kept the whole NBA team from playing for 3 months, so I guess
he's automatically out.
He's a good defensive player.
He was the guy that like touched the mic and stuff.
He shut down the whole NBA, so I guess that's pretty good defense. Get the drum set going.
We have a drum.
we need to hire a drum guy just for the subtle chance that we have a joke that comes. I am actually appalled. And this is the one list, and I wore him just for him. Marcus Smart.
I got to feel it.
Deserves the respect of the NBA. And
so you think he should win it or just be on the list?
I've been saying all year he should win it.
Oh.
I think he should be a finalist and win. Rudy Gobert should not be on the list because he shut down the NBA. I get that. I get that. Like he's one of the best defensive bigs in the game, but I'm sorry. Who's gonna vote for him? He was in just the way he did it like that. And I know it wasn't on purpose. He was obviously didn't think he had it, but like I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna shut down the NBA.
It wasn't intentional, is the point.
He was like, come on, dude. Come on, he's an idiot, dude. That was pretty brutal. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Giannis and Anthony Davis, but Marcus Smart, night in and night out, is one of the best, if not the best defensive player on the floor every night. So he gets charges, he gets steals, he gets big rebounds, and he shuts down guys. Like the best player on the team, one through probably, I wouldn't care if he guarded a center, to be honest with you. I think the center's probably going to win that battle. But I think he's smart. He's one of the smartest defensive guys I've seen, and he gets zero respect. That is like terrible. He's not a finalist in that list. But I don't know. Out of that list, I don't care.
You made
I think Marcus Smart. I'm going to stick with my vote, Marcus Smart.
Honestly, something I didn't think of, and that's a really good argument.
It's just like it's like insulting.
I'll go Taco. Taco Fall.
Stop it.
Taco. I have a taco tidbit once we're all done with it.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. And do you want to move on? Or?
Who did you pick?
I mean, originally, I go to Giannis, but you made an excellent case for Smart, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to win because he's not a finalist. So
no, but I'm saying, like, if you want to really look at it, like, out of the ones on the list, I'd go Giannis.
Giannis, okay. Fair enough.
Giannis every time. NBA Rookie of the Year. You got Zion, Nunn, and you got Morant.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't know enough about this to really be able to comment.
I would go.
Are you sure you're Taco with everything?
Taco played like 3 games. He deserves the year. I take Zion out right away, and I've said this before, not because of talent-wise. I think he's really good, and also his Pelicans team didn't make the playoffs, so they got officially eliminated. Which, crazy stat when we're here. This is one of the craziest sports stats I've heard in a long time. J.J. Redick has made the playoffs 22 straight years.
Yeah.
And he made it all 4 years of high school, every year of college. I forget if he was in 4 years of college. Because he went to Duke. He made the postseason.
Yep.
And every year so far of his NBA career, he's made the playoffs. How crazy is that? That's I never knew that. That's the most craziest stat I've heard.
There's going to be one person out there that's been making money off putting on some bets and just following this guy.
It's absolutely unreal. But getting to this, he's on the Pelicans, so that made me think of it.
Yeah.
Kendrick Nunn has been really good, and he kind of came out of nowhere, but Jay Morant, he has to win, dude. He's done it consistently over the whole season. The bubble doesn't count, so Zion's extra games don't count.
Really? Because this was all done before.
Well, they didn't do this before. They're only counting before the bubble. They're counting. They're looking at your production.
This is all pre-COVID. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I got to go Ja because he did it longer and played the whole season.
Okay. So then we go NBA Most Improved Player. Now, fun fact, I have no idea how to say this man's name.
Bam Adebayo.
Thank you, because I didn't want to butcher it. Bam Adebayo, we got Luka Doncic, and Brandon Ingram.
We butcher names on this podcast.
I try not to.
But I battle with this one. I really do.
What, between Doncic and Ingram?
Yeah, Luka and Ingram, I'm a big fans of them. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'd have to. You go first.
I'm gonna go with Luka.
Give me a reason why.
I can't give you one. I'll be honest with you.
I like his name.
Yes, actually.
I'll go Taco.
Of course, John goes Taco.
I'm surprised you didn't pick him for your all-time draft.
Oh, yeah.
I probably didn't even know who he was when we did the Celtics thing. Hurry up. We got a pod to do.
Yeah.
I don't know enough stats offhand to be able to argue Luka or Ingram. So
I'll do this. I think Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
I would go him.
All right.
I'm forced to pick one.
You are.
If this is the point of the show, I'd kind of pick him. Jesus. I'll say this. I think I'll go Brandon Ingram based on a couple things. His stats have improved over from last year to this year, so that's kind of I look at the most improved. Yeah. He improved. He went from people didn't look at him the same way like a clutch. He made the All-Star team this year. He wasn't looked at. I don't think he got the respect he had in LA because there was LeBron and there was a lot more eyes on other players. Luka, we've known is special the last 2 years. He's one of the best players in the league. But I just think Brandon Ingram, officially moved into that role as one of the most important people on that team, and that's why I go with him. That's my
makes sense. I'm with you.
Did my reasoning bore you?
No, sorry. I'm just not very awake today.
Oh, cool.
I'm sorry.
Sweet.
Yeah, good.
How many more of these we got?
We got 2 more.
Two. That's fine.
Doing fast.
NBA Sixth Man of the Year. You got Harrell, you got Dennis, and you got Williams.
I like how you just skipped over Dennis Schroeder's last name.
Yeah, I was
Dennis Clifford? I go Dennis Clifford.
Dennis. What about Dennis?
And every every bit about me, because I just call this the Lou Williams Award, so I go Lou Williams. But he did leave. He did it. I mean, I can't hurt him for wanting some wings, and that was after the bubble. He wanted some wings. That's all it was.
I get it, man. I get it.
Like I'm Lou Will.
And it was before the bubble. I mean, it was after the bubble. Wow. So
it doesn't count.
So it doesn't count. Canon. So I'm going Lou Williams.
Like I'm Lou Will. Like I'm Lou.
I'll go with you on that one.
I'll raise him some wings. Lou Williams eating some wings. That's what I go my 6th Man of the Year award. Yeah. Moving on,
please. NBA Coach of the Year.
Are you just gonna go with me on that one?
Yes. Okay. I don't know enough currently.
John's going Taco. Okay.
John's going Taco.
Coach of the Year.
All right. NBA Coach of the Year. We got. Oh no.
Mike Budenholzer. I'll read.
Thank you.
I'll read.
You know that one.
Mike Budenholzer, Billy Donovan, and Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm going to eliminate Mike because his team was the number 1 seed last year. His team's the number 1 seed this year. I'm not to take away from Mike, but I'm not. If you told me the Bucks were going to be in first place, I wouldn't be surprised. And that's kind of how I based the Coach of the Year award. Who did the best with their team?
So you're looking like almost like most improved.
That's how I look at it.
Did the most with the least.
No, like that's like if you take like that coach helped lead that team to a playoff spot.
Yeah.
That we didn't think. And so I take it between Billy Donovan and Nick Nurse. That's who I'm between. And both because I didn't think their teams were going to be as good. I didn't think the Raptors were going to be the 2 seed because after losing Kawhi, like that's a big loss. And Danny Green, he left too, which is a big off the bench guy and like spot starter. But the Thunder, I thought were going to be the worst team. And I apologize because I said the Thunder were going to be like one of the last couple seed like teams in the league. They were going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think they had the horses, to be honest with you. Yeah. Losing Paul George, you got Chris Paul, which I have a lot of respect, and I thought Chris Paul was really good. He's a great player. I didn't think he was going to be able to do it on his own, but other guys have stepped up. They have a good, they made a bigger push than I thought, and they're going to be a playoff team. So I give it to Billy Donovan just based on I thought they were going to have a crap team, and they've actually made the playoffs. So that's where I go with for him.
Okay.
James is going to go with what I say.
And then, at this point,
John's going to go Taco.
Taco!
All right.
Nice. John being consistent. I like it.
So that's what we got. That's the only one that I was really upset about. Even like
Defensive
Brad
player.
Stevens, like I'm not like I fight every year for Brad Stevens to be Coach of the Year because I think he deserves it. But like this year, they're the 3 seed. Like I kind of expected them to be in that area. Billy Donovan is just unreal. The fact the Thunder are in the playoffs, like I'm shocked.
I know we didn't talk any Celtics at all, but can I get some local love real quick? Give some local love.
Can I give some local love real quick? All right, thanks. That was quick. Moving
on. Brockton artist Lord Felix designed the current Taco Fall merch. So Taco Fall has like a bunch of T-shirts out, and a artist from Brockton designed it.
Shout out.
So cool. Shout out. Just some
local love. We're in Brockton right now.
That's our home. Exactly.
Shout out to local love. Local love segment. Yeah. We'll give a local love segment.
Local love segment. That's the first one I got. But okay, local love segment. I like that.
Local love
segment.
James, get on it. We haven't had a transition in a long time.
Am I going to break out the saxophone for this one and make like a local love segment?
Yeah, some smooth love segment.
Local love.
That could be done.
Get everyone hot and bothered.
Right before we go into our next topic, the people's topic.
People's topic.
So reminder, people's topic. You can write in on our Instagram or Twitter at Big Red Zone, or you can comment on the YouTube videos or something. Find us at Big Red Zone. Hit the like button, subscribe on this video and all our other videos. Without further ado, producer John, take it away.
We got a big people's topic this week.
So we got one.
Yeah, we got one.
Thanks for all the topics.
We got one, and it's from Big Red.
I'm glad you're gonna read mine.
Where do you want to start? Twitter or Instagram? Where do you want to start?
Let's do Twitter. Bang out Twitter.
All right, I have the Instagram app.
All right, do Instagram.
No, I'm already there.
Give me like a heads up, like a signal what you're on, and then I'll pick that one.
We got a big... Sorry, I was reading a reply. Okay. Comes from at DJ Westy 19 on Twitter. He says, or asks, how worried should we be that the Bruins drop to the 4 seed, not winning a single round robin game?
So I'm glad, because that was my Bruins. I'm glad this is my Bruins problem. This is the one thing I don't like, and I'll be honest, like it's kind of like I didn't really think about it until like it happened with the Bruins. The Bruins were the best team throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
And they got no reward for that. Like that's the problem with the round robin tournament game, which I love, by the way, how the NHL is doing it. First of all, not only with the bubble, like the bubble obviously works and I like that, but it's kind of like a March Madness type feel.
Yeah.
So I really like that. So kudos to the NHL. Like I don't want to bash the NHL, but the thing with the way the NBA did it, they just added on regular season games at the end.
Yeah.
Like kind of like, let's play a couple extras, see how they seed, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
So at least it benefits the Lakers who have like deserved the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And it goes back and forth. It benefits the Bucks who like have been the 1 seed the whole time and they lock into that. So I get it. It kind of rewards it. On the other hand, I get it because it kind of adds some excitement. It makes these games every single one important and makes it interesting to watch. Yeah. Like now that the Lakers are winning, they can kind of like coast the last couple of games because they're locked into the 1 seed. Yeah. It kind of brings back like these games don't really matter for some teams.
Yeah, yeah.
So in a way, I get it, the round robin tournament, but I don't really like it because I'll be honest, it screwed the Bruins over because they were dominant all year. They took 3 months off and they were rusty coming back in. So that was my little tidbit I had earlier in the show.
So what you're saying is the way to fix that is they should have, like the NBA did, get a couple of weeks of regular season games and then go into a round robin.
Or just start the playoffs. That's what I think. They should have just started the playoffs. Now, I like how they did like the lower seeds, like they started the playoffs, and I think it's been exciting. Like that's pretty, it's hard because I go back and forth. I think if the Bruins won all 4 games, this is where I'd be like, I wouldn't notice it as much, but like looking in at it, it wouldn't make sense. But to the question of the Mr. DJ, what's his name? DJ Nasty?
Oh, shoot.
DJ Nasty.
Is that what it was?
No. DJ Westy.
DJ
Nasty. DJ Nasty. That's
great.
Awesome.
That's great.
Westy. It was close. It was
Westy.
2 letters off.
DJ Westy
God.
19. Thanks, DJ Nasty.
I love it.
To answer his question, am I worried about the Bruins? Yeah, I am worried because they looked flat. They kind of, like, I was talking to someone who's a big hockey fan, and she actually said that, she knows a lot about hockey, and they're big, Bruins are big, like, momentum team.
Yeah.
They play off the crowd, they play off, and that's something that a lot of teams have to kind of get over because you can play off the crowd getting excited in a game and get that extra juice for the last stretch of the game. And the Bruins just look flat. So
it's tough to come off 2 or 3 months of not doing anything like that. That's
right. Especially
that's tough to expect any of these teams to come out.
Especially in hockey, which I think is like you're constant. It's even like soccer. I think is a tough like cardio sport because you're constantly running. Like I'd die. And hockey's even worse because you're skating.
Yeah, skating's hard.
Time. Skating's hard.
I almost lost a tooth ice skating.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
I
don't want to get into it. It's pretty, it's
okay.
Shivers up my spine.
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good not hearing it. But I think I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it because I'm not really nervous that they got the 4 seed because they're in the playoffs. Like it's okay. And like home ice advantage, I just don't see how that's a big deal because they're all playing with no fans.
Yeah.
So like they do like the sound music and stuff that if it's a home game, they do like the Bruins like sound effects and stuff like that. They play like the music and stuff like that. But I mean, you're playing on the same ice. It's not like you're traveling or anything. It's just like, I don't see how home ice advantage really matters. So I'm not really nervous. That's what I would be nervous about for like getting a 4 seed. I'm just nervous that the Bruins look flat in general.
Yeah, but maybe they can now get to practicing more and actually knock the rust off and really make some momentum here, get some things going. Because again, it's really hard when you take 3 months off of a sport like that. That's that physical and really requires like such a level of teamwork.
They're a great team.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing that nervous, like we need Tuukka, because that guy, the backup, was terrible. He didn't, like, a couple of them weren't his fault, but he did not look like we need Tuukka to go into a cup run. So
I saw there's a viral tweet going around that said hockey is the hardest sport. Changed my mind. Kind of agree. I think hockey.
Hardest sport.
Yeah.
Out of what? Like out of all sports?
Out of sports.
Depends on what you say.
I don't know. Well, that's what I replied on the account. I said sumo wrestling seems pretty hard because there's a lot of stuff that. Yeah,
I mean,
I would say the one that nobody expects. I would say probably those guys that do like competitive free climbing. Those like rock climbers and stuff like that. They do like timed runs and crap like that.
Are we counting?
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's a sport. Those people are insane. They just climb big rocks. They have no safety equipment.
Well, I mean,
those people are insane.
Is that just rock climb? Is that what you can call that, rock climb?
Well, it's called free climbing because they don't have like the safety equipment.
Oh, they don't have harnesses?
That's what I'm saying. Like the free climbers.
Skateboarding is also pretty hard.
That is really hard.
I don't know. I think MMA, when some guy's literally trying to kill you, I think that's
MMA is definitely up there.
We did this like a while. It was like, remember that list that came out?
Yeah.
We did this a while ago.
Yeah.
There's an SNL skit.
Hockey's definitely one of the
hockey's up there.
It's 100%
there's an SNL skit where Chance the Rapper is like a basketball sideline reporter, and the NHL, the hockey sideline reporter is out sick, so he has to like cover for him. So like they're like, Chance, what do you think's going on down there? And he's just like, let's do that hockey.
Yeah, I think it just depends on like what you consider hard. Like if you don't want to get beat up, that's a pretty tough
it depends
sport.
On
But like, I'll tell you what, golf's a tough sport.
Golf's pretty hard.
That's a technical sport.
Golf was like all the way at the bottom of the list, being like considered one of the easiest.
I would disagree with that.
It was like maybe out of 50. I remember on the list, out of 50, it was like in the 40s, high 40s.
Right, because if you think like I don't want to get beat up, I would consider that tough. Like I'd rather just go through stinking in the sport than get a punch to the face and get.
Well, I guess it depends on like how much effort it requires to become like really good at it.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that must be what it kind of means.
Because the thing is, like, I would say golf takes a long time to get really good at, just because you need a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Whereas in some sports, like for instance in football, if you're a kicker, not for nothing, you could spend 5-6 years and get really good at just kicking it.
You have to. I think any sport.
Shout out Pat
really
McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
But you get my point. Is like in sports we have to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more difficult.
True.
So
we have like 4 more questions.
Yeah, let's go.
Actually, real quick. Some guy. No, I don't want to say some guy. That's rude. At Christo5232561 on Twitter. This isn't a question, but he replied to the Astros, and we did the tweet about Astros and the Athletics. And he's revealing, I looked it up after, and it seems to have some validity, that the coach said something in Spanish to about Ramon's mom. That was one of the, I guess. That's what I'm saying. It says,
if that has any validity, then you know what?
This says you can hear it when Ramon was walking to first base after he told the pitcher how to throw. When they went to the replay, you can actually hear Alex yelling at him about his mom in Spanish.
Not for nothing, don't do your mom stuff on the field.
So wait, Alex is the coach, right? That like the coach.
The coach.
So we were ragging on him before, but now imagine
even worse.
Saying like,
"Oh,
your mom." You know,
I don't know.
Whatever.
The usual.
Jump down that rabbit hole.
What an idiot.
The usual stuff that stupid
idiot,
people
dude.
say. But,
like, we already talked about it.
All right. From A Laps 2. Shout out Lapsley.
Lapsley.
I don't know how to answer this one. Do you guys want/need a football guy?
I mean, define.
I'm sure once we get if there's a draft, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If we actually get into like a fantasy draft and if there's a season, we'd love to hear from you.
Trust me, when football starts happening, we'll probably be talking a lot about it.
And anyone that wants to say anything, just write in. We'll talk about it. Like if you have a point that you want to make.
We mentioned the TikTok comments and tweets that we get. So if you interact with us or send us any sort of comment, there's a good chance we're gonna read it. We specifically focus in on the people's topics, but like I've read all,
Anywhere.
Anytime you have a comment, just write it in.
Doesn't matter what platform, as long as we're on it.
Our guy, Joseph Celia.
Hey,
Our
guy, Joseph _Celia. I'm pretty sure I think I nail it at this point.
Yeah.
Celia. Since 2000, since 2000, what are your 3 favorite Boston championships?
2000.
That's a good question.
Oh, God.
That's a crazy question.
I almost have to go, what was it, the 04 Red Sox?
04 Red Sox is a good one.
I have to go. That's one of them. For me. That's huge. I have to go. The second one has to be the Patriots Falcons.
Was that the one with the interception?
No, that's the one that
they faced the Seahawks.
The Seahawks in that one. The Falcons is when they were down. The Falcons when they were down.
25-3, or what was it? 28-3, 25-3.
28-3.
Ooh.
So that one for me has to go up there as well. I don't know about the third one.
Celtics championship with Pierce, Garnett,
that's a good one.
Ray Allen. That's a good one. When was that? 2008?
I don't know what would be. I don't know. You pick yours because I already picked 2. I got to pick a third.
No, you go through. I want to hear your third.
I'm having a tough one with this. You know what I'm going to have to say?
There's so many to choose from.
I think for me this was...
That one goes out to all our TikTok fans.
You hear that, Astros fans? You hear that?
It's tough winning so much. It's hard to pick which one we love the most.
I got through this Rolodex over here with all these...
Our TikTok is just going to be like yelling back.
Yeah, I don't care.
Good. Yell back. We can't hear you over all our parades that we've had.
I think it's because it defined the last 15 to 20 years of football. I have to go with what year did Tom Brady win his first Super Bowl? I forget. 01?
01.
Because I watched that as a kid.
Yeah.
And like my grandfather and I watched that. For me, that's what got me into football.
Big nostalgia hit. What was the one when they faced the Rams?
That was the one.
That was the one? That would be in for me because I remember that I had a little like pin. Like that would even like just based off nostalgia and being a kid, like that'd be up there for me
too.
A big
one.
That was such a crazy one.
I'm a big Celtics fan, but I'm not going to choose the 08 one. I thought about it. I want to hear yours. You want to say yours?
Nah. I mean, I've already kind of
kind
of agreed.
So 08, like that's a big being a big basketball guy. I love that one.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to choose that one.
Okay.
It's a special place in my heart, but I'm not going to choose that one. First one I'm going to go with, I have to agree, the 04 team. That was just something like special.
That was
Red Sox,
that was magical in a way.
That was
crazy.
Amazing. The other one I already had picked out, which I hate to agree with you. I wanted to pick different ones, but like the Falcons one was just so special for the reason we were down so much. Not everyone believed. Also, that was the year Tom Brady got suspended and missed 4 games.
It was a wild ride that entire year.
Stupid owner came down in the third quarter like an idiot because he thought we were gonna win. They were gonna win. Like there was a lot of things that went into that year that just made it.
It was like out of a movie.
Cried. I darn near cried.
Well,
I'll be honest with you. When I say that, I did. I bawled.
We usually watch the Super Bowl together, grab a few friends, and like that was just.
That was the famous year I went upstairs and watched the game upstairs. You were stuck downstairs with all the non-football people. We were like, "You cannot come up here. We've already started the run."
It was really weird because I was sitting there just eating pizza, like on my phone, watching the game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody leaves. Like, where'd everyone go?
Yeah, we all changed up at halftime, and then
now it's a tradition.
Now it's like.
Tradition.
You have to if you're winning. But anyways, I won't get into it.
I want to see your third one because I want to give an honorable mention.
Just based on what's your honorable mention?
That Bruins.
No, I'll say mine.
Well, that was going to be my honorable mention.
That Bruins one was a big
That Bruins series was ridiculous.
Based on what it meant to the city of Boston, based on the team they had, because they didn't have it wasn't like a spectacular lineup.
Yeah.
They were coming off a dismal year, the 2013 Red Sox.
That's a good one.
It was the Boston Marathon year. That was the Boston Strong year.
This is our city.
Yeah, that was the year. David Ortiz had one of the greatest postseason performances I've ever seen. Like it just like how much the city needed. Like you think back to I think back to the Saints after Katrina when they won the Super Bowl in the Dome. They won. I don't know if it was in the Dome, but they won the Super Bowl. I think the Yankees. It was like an 01 after 9/11. I think they won the World Series, or they were in the World Series.
Yep.
Like the Red Sox winning the 13 World Series meant more to the city than I think.
Rey Mysterio winning the World Championship after Eddie died.
always tied in. I just think that how much that meant to the city. I think it was just
that was a big moment.
That's probably one of my favorite
back.
championships ever that we've won. That's probably like the one that like.
Honestly didn't even. Yeah,
they're all great. Like if you count them out, like
there's so many.
There's so many.
I can't even count them all on 2 hands.
I know. I felt bad that you forgot about that one because there's so many.
It's just.
I know the Astros probably only got like a couple, or any other team that just is terrible can't think of one.
I mean, Houston, they got Astros and Texans,
and the one they probably didn't even deserve. Like that's tough.
All right. Next one.
We win a lot.
That was a really good question.
I thought that was the last one.
That's a great question.
Like 2 more.
Oh, really? Wow.
Let's go.
I was ready to wrap it up.
No. Let's keep going.
At BFried7. This is the one where before we recorded, I said I don't know what in the world this means.
Okay.
Thoughts on the emergence of Time Lord?
Oh, it's a Celtics player. They're not big basketball guys. Time Lord's Rob Williams.
Oh.
Not Robin Williams. Rob Williams.
You knew exactly.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the gears turning.
There was a joke forming, and you just like stopped. You halted it. There was some.
I just saw the pure confusion on your head. I was like, no,
Robin Williams is back. He's playing basketball now.
I'm gonna squish this. Yeah. Shout out to Robin Williams because we're big Robin Williams.
Love Robin Williams.
R.I.P. But Celtics need a big guy, and he's been playing well. He's a young guy. He's been battling injury, so it's nice to see him actually perform, which what we thought.
Why do they call him Time Lord?
Yeah.
It's just his. I don't know what the origins of that name, but freezes time. I don't know. He's like he's big, known for like his big dunks. It's his second year in the league. He like dunks real. He's like.
Is he old?
He's second year in the league.
Oh, so I was gonna say if he was like old, then maybe like Time. I don't know.
I don't know. Actually, just like he's known for like his crazy like big.
Interesting.
Dunks. He was like hyped. He was like the
cool
rookie
nickname.
last year.
Time Lord.
Yeah.
That's dope. Thanks, BFried7.
If you know why, comment in our comments.
Yeah,
why?
let us
know in the comments.
Please. Not on TikTok.
Not on TikTok, you jerks.
TikTok is reserved for mean commenters. Last
Don't listen to that.
question is from
we're off the rails.
Jose, Dominican sports reporter. We looked up Jose Moda 05.
Okay.
He asks, who are your favorites to win the AL and NL MVP?
Oh, jeez.
Heaters of questions this week.
Heaters of questions. Shout out. He's we looked him up. He played. He had an MLB, but he was on Fox. MLB
really?
Fox Sports. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't
pretty
know how
cool.
Hey,
shout him out. Maybe we can try to get him on the
Jose. Come on the big red zone.
Yeah, come on.
American League, National League MVP. That's a tough question. At least for me, especially with.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, we know one of them's gonna have to. Is it gonna have to be Mike Trout at some point?
Mike Trout has to be the MVP. Like, he wins it every year, and he's just so dominant. Like, he's so good. I haven't.
Then who would I pick for?
I'll tell you what. Let's see. I always look at like RBIs, home runs, and average.
Yeah, let me see what you pull up with some stats, because my original thought, Mike Trout has to be one, but then
I think eventually it could be Mike Trout, but right now, as much as I hate to say it, I'm gonna puke saying it.
Oh, who is it?
Right now, because he's like on an absolute tear. I may not get through his whole name. Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge. He has, he's batting .283, he strikes out a ton, but he's leading the league in RBIs, and I think he's top 3, if not leading, in home runs. He has 8. No, he's oh no, that's 0. I want to see the top, you morons. He's leading the league in home runs and RBIs.
Oh, that's huge.
So I
by
guess,
how much though? Like, is it like clear?
It's by 2. Next, Mitch Moreland's number 2 in home runs. 6 home runs. Is number 2. No.
Out of left field,
Mike Trout has 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. It's tough, and he's batting .286. Mike Trout will win. I think there's no doubt in my mind Mike Trout will win because he's the best
Mike Trout.
He's the best player, and I think he deserves it. And he's on a crappy team, so he's helping, it's helping them win. But I'll tell you, Aaron Judge, if he continues like the streak he's on, he could give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
Because he's been so good this year.
So that's for the National League?
That's American League.
That's American League.
National League, I mean,
what do you got?
It's tough because, like I said, it's so early on in the season. But the guy who's had the hottest start right now is Charlie Blackman. Charlie Blackman's batting .458 with 18 RBIs, and he has 3 home runs. But,
man,
I mean, based on that, he's having a great start. The usual suspects are like, you would think like Mookie Betts would have a chance at it. It's really early for me to say, but if the season ended right now, I'd give it to Charlie and
that's a hell of a
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, that's
which I hate saying. I hate it. I do not like Aaron Judge. I really.
Can I ask why?
Well, one, it's like Red Sox fan. He's a Yankees player.
Well, yeah, but it seems like there's something special
also,
there.
like I think I said before the season I thought he was overrated, which obviously
that's where you're going at.
Paying the price for that now, but I just Red Sox fan. I'm not. I like Derek Jeter now, but when I was he was playing, I wasn't rooting for Derek Jeter.
No, but it just seemed like you were a little personal with that.
It's more of like just I'm a fan of the Red Sox. It's hard to support a Yankees player especially like young guy. I don't know, not a big Aaron Judge guy. But I'd go Charlie Blackman, I guess, right now.
I mean,
but
with that batting
it
average,
could change. I mean, we still got another month and a half, 2 months left. So
as of today, those are the players.
As of today, I'd pick Charlie Blackman just because he's on an absolute tear. He's killing it right now.
That's crazy.
Well, thank you for your
question.
That was the last one.
Thank you. I'm gonna keep an eye on Blackman.
I didn't know he was off to that good of a start because he's playing for the Rockies, so I'm not really paying attention. I knew he's a great player, but I didn't know he was off to that kind of a start. The home run leader in the National League. Who's the home run leader in the National League? Tatis. Yeah, I wouldn't give it to him. He's off to a good start too. He has 18 RBIs. That's interesting because I don't really he's tied with Blackman for RBIs, and he's second. I mean, Fernando Tatis, he's with San Diego. Yeah. He's batting .333 with 18 RBIs, same as Blackman, and 8 bombs, and he's leading the league in bombs. So he would be if the league ended right now, he'd have a chance at being he's in that running right now. But I have a feeling Mookie's gonna sneak up in there, and a couple other those guys.
Agreed. Also the name somewhat helps him on that. That's
yeah. But thanks again for everyone writing into our people's topic. Remember,
where can they write in? Where?
Well, make sure you tell a friend too.
Tell a friend about the pod.
Tell a friend about the pod, and write in on Instagram, Twitter, or on as we learned, TikTok or YouTube.
All over social media
at Big Red Zone. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe on our stuff, and subscribe on our YouTube page. And we'll read, like we said, we'll read anyone's topic. We need a football guy. We always need someone. Just write in and let us know on people's topic. John, did you want to? I mean, we're running kind of late.
What?
You had your own people's topic that you wanted to say.
What time are we at?
1:28.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe we'll tease it. We'll tease it.
Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole at NXT TakeOver.
What? We'll get into that.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah.
No.
Pat McAfee is
we knew that was gonna happen. We called.
Dude,
that.
I'm so into it.
It was definitely what they call a work. I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
So basically, to use the last 2 minutes here.
We'll tease it. Want to do it next week?
Tease it.
For
well,
next week.
I'll update him with the new because it's going to be an ongoing thing. NXT is every Wednesday, so this Wednesday there'll be another. I don't know when the takeover is their pay-per-view basically. Yeah. So I don't know when takeover is, but Pat McAfee was at commentary right ringside, and he got into it with Adam Cole, and they're like. Yeah, and then
is that after Cole went on his show?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is on NXT, like right by ringside, and I kind of forget what happened, but there was some words exchanged, and then Pat McAfee said, "We'll watch it. I should show you guys after when we sign off."
Yeah.
There were some words exchanged, and there was, people holding each other back, and then Adam Cole was like leaning over like the booth, so like he was just kind of like his like chest and whatever was exposed. Yeah. Pat McAfee punts him right in the chest, and Adam Cole is down. Triple H comes out and is like, "Get out of here!" Da, da, da. So basically, it seems like they're setting up Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. That would be fun.
And if there's anyone that I think could pick up like wrestling, like it's Pat McAfee. Like he seems like he kind of got.
He has a big enough personality.
Right. He's very much like a Gronk, where he can just kind of get in and like be a natural at it. But
we'll talk about that more
as the story develops.
We'll tease that for next week. So. Want to thank, as always, James and John for joining this week. Thanks for watching, and have a great week, everyone.